One of the first things Chris and I do when we get to a new city is do a giant walking tour through as many of the sites as we can see. So on our first day in Rome, we walked over 20 kilometers or 12 miles, visiting the Colosseum, the Spanish Steps, and tons more places. And if you watch our channel, you know we do unconventional minimalist travel where we try and find sites on our own without the use of a tour. And we do it all on a budget. When I get to a new city, I get this kind of nervous excitement and I want to see and do everything. Taking a big tour allows me to figure out what's around me and wrap my head around how to spend my time. We left the Rome Hello hostel around 9 a.m. and headed to our first stop, the Colosseum. Since our plan for the day was just to scope out the major sites, we checked it out from the outside, but we didn't buy tickets to go into the Colosseum or the Roman Forum and Palatine Hill, which are all in the same area and can be viewed on the same ticket. We did go in later that week, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification button if you want to get notified about when our video about going into the Colosseum comes out. Even just looking at the Colosseum from the outside is impressive. It's over 2,000 years old and was the largest amphitheater ever built. Even today, it's considered the largest standing amphitheater in the world. We walked around the exterior fence of the Roman Forum and Palatine Hill too to get an idea for what we'd be seeing when we went in with tickets later in our visit. On to our next stop, the Vittoriano, also known as the Altar of the Fatherland. This monument was built about 100 years ago to honor Victor Emmanuel II. Inside is a museum about the unification of Italy, though we just enjoyed the building from the outside. From there, we headed to the Pantheon. By now it was lunchtime, so we picked up a couple of sandwiches from a grocer along the way. Apparently having a picnic around Rome's most famous monuments became too popular and left way too much garbage, so now it's illegal to do so. So we just enjoyed our sandwiches discreetly on our walk. The Pantheon is free to enter, but the lineup was quite long, and our goal for today was just to get the lay of the land, so we looked at the building from the outside. All right, the entrance is over there, and the lineup goes all the way around. You can't see it now because it's on the other side of the fountain. You can kind of see the people waiting in line over there. And here's more of the line. It's moving forward. Here. Here. It keeps going. We're not done yet. And you can see the end of the line is now right over there.
Show where the entrance is.
The entrance is right over there. But you got to loop all the way around this fountain to get in. Moving on to our next stop, Navona Square. I love this square with the 3 fountains laid out across the long rectangle and the restaurants and patios surrounding it. It was busy with a great energy. We spent some time just hanging out and people watching. Moving on to St. Peters Basilica. This is the longest part of the walk, but Rome has so many great alleyways to discover along the way. Okay, we just walked down the street. We don't even know where we are, and we keep running into ancient ruins.
Or edifices.
If you're getting thirsty, Rome also has these fountains everywhere. We heard that the water from these fountains was potable and meant to be drunk from, but we didn't want to test it out. But speaking of water, make sure you keep an eye out for the aqueducts kind of hidden all around the city. We found one off an alley and another one in a high-end department store called Rinascente. Yup, the ancient aqueduct was discovered when they were building the store, and so it remains there to be seen if you go to the lowest floor of the shop. The 2,000-year-old Roman aqueducts ran between 16 and 91 kilometers long each and are considered one of the great Roman-era engineering works. Okay, back to our walk to St. Peter's. St. Peter's Square is in Vatican City, so our walk took us to the smallest country in the world. Entering into the St. Peter's Basilica is free, but you need to be dressed appropriately. I think we would have had enough time to go into St. Peter's on our first day, but we chose not to. We did go in at a later time that week, so let's fast forward to that so I can show you what it looks like. Today our plan is to head inside St. Peter's Basilica, which is free to enter unless you want to go up to the dome. If you want to go into St. Peter's, there's a dress code. It's the same for all genders. Basically, you need to have your upper arms and your knees covered.
I'm wearing pants for the first time on this trip during the day.
The lineup was pretty short first thing in the morning, and after going through security and COVID temperature checks, we were able to look around the basilica. The Renaissance church was designed by Michelangelo and decorated by Bernini. The basilica should not be confused with the Sistine Chapel, which does require a ticket to get in. Okay, back to our giant one-day walking tour of Rome. On our first day at the Basilica, we spent some time looking at the obelisk in the center of the square, which casts a shadow onto the ground and can be used to tell the time. On to the Spanish Steps. We started out by checking the fountain at the bottom. From there, we headed up the steps.
Just climbed 132 steps.
And the top has some cool views of the city. And then we headed back to the hotel. You might be asking yourself, what about the Trevi Fountain? We could have made that the last stop on our giant walking tour, but we had actually checked it out the night before when we arrived in Rome. Right after we checked into our hostel, we headed to the Trevi Fountain and had some dinner around there too. I love the patios on the alleys by the fountain. We had an excellent dinner at Hosteria Trevi. The restaurant has pictures on the wall of the owner serving food at his restaurant many years ago, and he's still serving the food there today. The pizza was the best we'd had so far in Rome, and the ambiance in the alley made us feel like we were truly in Italy. If you have some extra time in Rome, I would also recommend checking out the Borghese Gardens. You can get a view of the aqueducts at the start of the park, and the area is just beautiful. It's a nice break from all the busyness of the city. So that's our giant one-day walking tour through the major sites of Rome. Visiting the Colosseum, Roman Forum, and Palatine Hill properly take another full day on their own, so don't forget to check out our video on that one too.